Hi, Joseph Floyd here with Sound It Plain, and I welcome you to this video. I want to discuss 5 reasons why Putin may be a tool in the hands of God. Before I do, let me tell you how I know firsthand, because I have friends there, how sorrowful, how sad and tragic this whole thing is. It's senseless, it's brutal, it's needless. However, I have to look at from the spiritual side and where God is saying and how God's worked in the past. He doesn't change, and so I want us to be aware of these 5 things that are going on, and there may be more. The first reason why Putin is a tool, can be a tool in God's hand, is what we call Aliyah. And Aliyah, right there, Aliyah means to go up to Jerusalem, but it refers to the movement to bring the Jews back to Israel. Since 70 AD, they've been scattered all over the world, primarily in Eastern Europe and in a land, what they call the land of the North. But Jews have been returning home since about 1800, and I say home, Israel. And now that there's a state of Israel, there's more paperwork involved, and so the process is a little different. But there are organizations that have been helping for a few decades. We call them fishers, based on Jeremiah 16:16. Go check out my video called "The Hunters Are Coming." However, there are hunters, and so the window for the fishers to fish and get them home safely has begun to narrow, and the hunters are coming to annihilate them. Satan hates them. He doesn't want them around for a lot of reasons. And so this thing has hastened the process, and Israel is actually helping hasten the paperwork. They brought several thousand home, whereas before it would have probably taken years. So, but if you want to know more about the Aliyah movement, go check out this book by Patricia Frame, Intercession in Aliyah, and also Barry Wagner's And Still They Come, which talks about the Aliyah movement, or the return home. The next thing I want to mention is pharaohs. God has used wicked and righteous men like Pharaoh, or pharaohs, and Nebuchadnezzar, Herod, and others throughout time to accomplish his purposes. In Exodus 9:16 and Romans 9:11, God talks about how Pharaoh was an instrument or tool that he raised up for his purposes. And we know that with Israel, they were stiff-necked and rebelled, and he would from time to time use nations to try to drive them back. And so likewise, he raised up men like Nebuchadnezzar to punish them, and yet they destroyed the temple, just like Pharaoh enslaved them, and he gave them an opportunity to repent, and they didn't, and God punished them. So my point is, he can use these men, even though these are horrible things, but yet he still wants them to repent. Okay? The third thing is, this is just like COVID, a precursor. It's birth pains. It's going to get worse. We haven't seen nothing yet, as they say. And again, that's not good news for the people suffering in Ukraine. And when I say it's going to get worse, I don't mean just that. I just mean all over. But that's what the birth pains are. It's getting closer to the time of Jesus, and we're going to see more things like COVIDs and more wars like this. So don't be alarmed. It's not World War III. And another thing is revival and fasting and prayer. You know, God uses adversity to cause us to turn to Him and pray and seek Him out and cry out. And that's what revival is. And He wants to pour out His Spirit. And so in these times, not just the Ukrainian and Russian people were praying, but all over the world. We're praying for and with them, but we're also praying for revival where we are. So God's going to do it. He's going to accomplish what he said, and he's going to pour out his spirit. And he uses adversity to do that. And the last thing is the fame of his name, his honor. God in Habakkuk 2:14, he said, "The knowledge of the glory of the Lord will cover the face of the earth," and that's going to happen. It's happening now. But also Malachi 1:11 says, "From the rising of the sun to the setting of the sun, God's name will be praised." And so God's going to have the final say. His son Jesus is going to come set up his kingdom here for 1,000 years soon. And all the nations are going to worship him. So his name, his honor will be magnified and glorified in all of this before it's over with. And so I'm going to leave you with that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button. Share this video. Let people know what's going on. In the meantime, Joseph Floyd, go check me out on Write It Plain. Read my blogs. And I'll be doing more of these now that I'm back from COVID.